Hi there, you're watching the Gardens and Graveyards channel. My name is Charisma and today we're in the moon garden and we're gonna plant a hosta. I'm so excited for this hosta. It's absolutely beautiful. Look at this. You see all that blue color? It's so pretty. And it is called a blue moon hosta, which I had to have for my moon garden. We picked this up at Seabright Gardens in Salem, Oregon, and they are an amazing hosta grower and nursery, and they have these beautiful grounds, which we did do a tour of, and you will be seeing that in a couple of weeks on a Sunday. We have a couple of really fun tours coming up that you get to enjoy, so I can't wait to share those with you. So stay tuned, make sure you subscribe so that you know when we post new videos, and you can know that on Sundays we always post a garden tour, and on Monday, today, you get a little sneak peek into my moon garden and what I'm up to here. This space has been developed greatly over the last year, and I keep adding just a little more beauty and fun into it, and it's just been such a fun adventure. It's a small space, so I get to really pack in some big impact moonly elements. So today we're gonna do the blue moon hosta. This hosta has white flowers, of course, because that is what I need in the moon garden. And it wants afternoon sun or full shade. So this will get some dappled afternoon sun, and mostly it will be in shade. You could tell it's in shade because where I'm planting it, it's almost entirely moss. And this says it's a medium-sized hosta, which means it gets about 30 inches wide and a couple feet tall. So it'll fill in the space underneath my lilac perfectly. So let me give you a little closer look at where she is going. So here we are, and in the moon garden patio is down below me, and this is a lilac. She's all done blooming, and step down in here. I'm gonna actually take out a couple of little branches like this that are just kind of in my face when I walk by. And then I'm going to take out this branch right here entirely, partially because it's in my way a little bit, but partially because the shape of the lilac, this one branch is way off from the rest of the shape of the lilac. So I'm going to take that out today. But underneath that, you could see, yeah, you could, between the lilac, here's the base of the lilac, and the bench, you could see the blue moon hosta, and that's where she's gonna kind of live and be tucked in there. So you can see how that looks in there, and then you can kind of see that the rest of this area is a little bit rough, and we're gonna add a really fun element in there. So let's get her planted. All right, so I'm just using a hand trowel for this today because my ground is super soft underneath here. First, I'm gonna pull away all the moss so she's not competing with that. All right, now I just filled this empty container with raised bed potting soil. I just want to give this hosta a really good chance for a good start. So I'm giving it some fresh soil, even though I'm planting it in the ground. Because this ground has just been barren, there's been nothing but a little bit of ground cover and weeds growing here. So just want to give it just a little bit of extra nutrition. I will put plant tone in the hole for a slow release fertilizer and food. And now we can plant her. She's in there good. Nice healthy root system. We don't need to rough that up. It's nice and loose. I'll give her some nutrition on top too. All right. Okay. So then the next thing I want to do is water her in. Now, because we never water back here in the past, we had no reason to. The ground is very dry, so it took a whole 2-gallon bucket of watering this hosta before I actually have some surface water running. Otherwise, it was just like draining through. And that's good. You want to watch for that. A good rule of thumb when you're planting and you're watering is watch the water level, and if it soaks in less than the time it takes you to count to 10, it needs more water. So that's just kind of an easy way to remember how much water do you actually need. All right, now the last thing I'm going to do for this hosta is I'm going to put out some cories. This is our slug and snail killer bait. This product is the product that I found works the absolute best in my garden. I have tried Sluggo, Sluggo Plus. When I use Sluggo Plus, it works great with earwigs and it works okay with slugs. I started using this product last summer and I do not see hardly any slug damage on my plants, and I rarely see a slug at all. Whereas in previous years, we saw slugs pretty much daily. And before I started using Sluggo, I was trying beer traps, and I discovered that I was actually attracting slugs by putting out beer traps because they're attracted to the smell of yeast, and they will come from your neighboring gardens to get to that yeast. And yes, they'll drown in the beer, but I don't need to attract any. They'll also, eat plants on their way, and they'll have babies, and it's just this constant cycle that you have to fight. When we were using beer traps, we had 2-ounce glass jars all over our garden. I think we had something like 60 glass jars. They were from the wee yogurt, adorable jars. We'd put half full of beer, and every single day we were emptying those at least once, if not twice a day, and we were going through a 12-pack of beer every week. And we don't drink beer, so that's an expensive slug killing project that was not working for us. So I am careful with my cories when I spread it out. I put it around plants that are susceptible to slug damage. We don't really get snails. I just don't see snails around. I have seen them, but they're not very common. So we put them around our hostas, we put them around our dahlias, and then I also put the cories in plants that the slugs like to lay their babies. So my rose campion is a big one that they like to lay babies in. So I always put slug control in those plants. Trying to think of what other plants, anything that's like really dense like that. It seemed like there was another one that was really common. Oh, strawberry plants. So my Oregon native strawberries, they will lay their babies underneath that leaves of strawberries. Not so much my edible strawberry, or my garden strawberries that I eat, but definitely in the Oregon native strawberry patches, I have, they're harboring slugs, which is why I've been pulling that ground cover away from a lot of my plants. And I will put cories in those beds with those strawberry plants, because we don't eat those strawberries. This is one of the safer options as far as environment, but you do want to be really careful about where it's being placed near streams. So I am extra careful where it gets placed in the lower garden near the creek that we have. It never gets put out right by the creek, but we do have hostas, up from the creek that I do carefully place this around. So it only takes a couple of pellets, maybe like, I don't know, 20. You just sprinkle them around the base of the hosta, and then I have another hosta over here. And that's it. You do want to be kind of careful that you put it on dry soil, because it expands and disintegrates in water. So I don't always love doing that right after I watered, but I'm here and I don't want to forget about it, and I wanted to share it with you. So that's why I did it that way. All right, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you're inspired to create a beautiful and sacred garden of your own. This moon garden is bringing me so much joy, and it's so fun to find new moonly elements such as this blue moon hosta to add into the garden. Until the next time, keep celebrating your life, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.